G'day, I'm Matt Brann, and this week I'm in the Kimberley's Irrigation scheme in the far north of WA, and I'm standing in Australia's newest cotton gin. This facility was officially opened on Monday in front of a big crowd of industry leaders and also the local community of Kanara. This is a $60 million facility that has the initial capacity to process more than 100,000 bales a season, but there is room to expand as more cotton is grown in this region. Once processed, the cotton bales are set to be exported from the nearby port of Wyndham. Now, this gin was built using a sizable loan from the federal government's Northern Australia infrastructure facility known as the NAIF.
The Kanara Cotton Gin is not the largest NAIF loan that has been made, but I feel after talking to people last night and this morning and in the months leading up to this, that whilst it's not the biggest investment, it surely might be the most impactful to the town of Kanara, but to the whole region of the north.
The Ord's cotton harvest is currently underway with over 9,000 hectares to be picked. All of that can now be processed locally.
Oh, this means everything to us. For the last 4 years we've been carting modules over east. So to have a cotton gin literally 5 minutes from home, working local, home every night, as a truckie with a young family, it just doesn't get any better.
That's local truck driver Matt Brann, who also told Landline that he was pretty chuffed to have delivered some of the first cotton modules to this facility.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to be involved in one of the first loads to come in on the first day. So that was pretty exciting to tell the kids that, we're bringing one of the loads in, and I took my wife Bianca along.
And you'll get to learn more about this project and the impact it's having on the region if you tune into Landline next week. That report will be by Christy O'Brien. So let's take a look at the prices. Growers in the Ord are getting about 10 to 11 bales a hectare this season. So at $570 a bale, that's a pretty good return. It could be better though. And at the official opening of this cotton gin, former WA Ag Minister Alana McTiernan said we need to get people out of synthetic clothing and into cotton. Meanwhile, China has enforced a 75% tariff on Canadian canola in retaliation, it would seem, to a tariff Canada put on Chinese electric vehicles last year. So that means the world's biggest importer of canola has stopped buying from the world's biggest exporter of canola. And that has pushed global prices down this week. There are many who are hoping this could now open the door and actually be good news for Australian canola. In the cattle market, some abattoirs are reportedly cutting shifts and reducing hours because of supply concerns. Yet the national slaughter rate is still historically high, with more than 156,000 head processed last week. In terms of prices, the cattle market held pretty firm this week. There was strong demand for feeder heifers, and the processor cow indicator has continued to ease off its high earlier in the month. Now, the old saying is, nothing fixes high prices like high prices. And perhaps that's one way of explaining the correction that happened in the sheep and lamb market this week. The number of heavy and trade lambs yarded was actually down week on week, but quality was mixed. And as for sheep numbers, well, they jumped 22%, pushing mutton values down. Now, despite all of these red arrows, remember, this is still really big money. There were no wool sales again this week, but auctions are set to resume on August 18. That is the Landline check on prices from the Kimberley's Irrigation scheme. Keep it rural.